Yeah, so Akash was telling us the three things that he really helped him in the last 90 days, last 30 days. So what was the third thing, Akash?
Third thing, even I've lost my train of
Yeah,
thought. What was I saying, sir?
it related to the first was the second was maths, the consistency, and
Consistency, math, and third was
believe in yourself. Yeah.
believe in yourself. Right, right. Thank you for reminding me. Which is so there were a lot of points in my journey where I was scoring the 70s, scoring the 80s. I eventually went up to the 90s and the hundreds, but I did fall back down. For example, when I wrote my first offline mock, I fell back from the 100. I got 104 the previous mock, which was an online mock. And the very next offline mock, which was the first mock I wrote offline, I got 82, 83. So even when I was not doing well at all, and when it looked like the odds were against me, I did not for a second, honestly, did not for a second lose faith that I will make it into NLS. I just kept believing that okay, if I'm not scoring well now, doesn't matter. I'm going to work even harder and score well the next mock. This isn't the end of the world. It's just a mock. It isn't the actual paper. So take mocks seriously in insofar that you're taking them seriously while you're attempting them, and for the
Yeah.
preparation you're putting in to do well in them. But don't take the scores to your heart.
Yeah.
Don't take them personally. They aren't the end of the world. All they are two things, which are a learning experience and a motivator.
Yeah.
That's all they are.
Yeah.
So even when you're not doing well, keep believing that you're going to achieve the goal you have set out for yourself, whatever that may be. That helped me a lot, honestly. It might sound like make believe. It does sound like that to myself when I say it, but it does help. It does help. It
Would you
does help to have.
believe would you believe like I'm just genuinely curious at this point. Would you believe if you were watching this video and you got this advice? You know what I mean?
Uh, I think I would because I did pick this up from other toppers as well.
Right.
I This isn't an original idea by any means.
Right.
It's something I picked up from people I've learned from, and I think that's the job of every successive generation to gain wisdom from their seniors and to pass it on to the next generation.
Right.
So I learned it from talking to my seniors, from talking to people who are in NLS, from listening to interviews of people like Manhar Bansal or Arib Nabi, and all these great guys who are in NLS currently will be my seniors.
Right.
And that's where I got it from. Just believe in yourself. And the fourth thing, the very last thing, this is, I think, one of the most important, which is write offline mocks.
Yes.
Offline mocks, I could, this completely slipped my mind. Like, I
Yeah.
forgot to address it, so I'm going to come back to that now.
Right.
The third point was supposed to be the last and final point, but this
Yeah.
is worth addressing, which is
Yeah.
offline mocks, very, very different from online mocks. I guarantee if you've only been writing online mocks for the past 2 to 3 months, your first offline mock, a major hit in the score.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Because the experience of filling out the OMR, of underlining the lines which you have to pay attention to, or flipping the pages, even the very little time it takes to flip the pages and fill the OMR makes a world of difference.
Right.
So write offline mocks, and those are the four keys: consistency, quant,
Right.
believe in yourself, and
Right. Offline.
offline mocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if this was a better recorded podcast, the order of those would be better scripted. But
Yeah.
this is completely acoustic set that we're doing here. Yeah, completely unscripted. Yeah. So does anyone even know what acoustic sets are anymore? Has anyone heard Leila? No. Okay.
Honestly, to be completely honest, even I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I could feel the disconnect. And it's before my time as well, but anyway. So that's
Uh,
fantastic advice, Akash. That's I'm genuinely I'm still thinking about acoustic sets. MTV
mhm.
Unplugged. Go check it out. It
uh,
was in the 90s. It was really
okay.
good. All right. Anyway, so that was
Did you
really
say the
good.
name? I didn't catch that.
MTV Unplugged.
MTV Unplugged. Okay, yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's a lot there. So this
uh,
podcast is about acoustic sets and right. So that was really great advice, Akash. That was really great advice. I think it will hold people in good stead. I think this was a really interesting episode because uh, we got into a lot of tactics that we covered, but we really spoke about the mental aspect during the entire period of preparation, which is so important. And
Yeah.
I'm sure that many people watching will learn so much from your experience and really take heart in many ways and really push themselves further. At least I definitely hope for the last one. Yeah. So this podcast, this was episode 7. This is part 3. If this is the first one you're watching, that's a little weird. This must have been a little weird for you. My name is Janardhan Pashupati. I'm your host. I'm the host of the CLAT podcast. I was lucky enough to get ranked 38 in the CLAT back in the day in 2013 and mentor hundreds of students after going to National Law School of India University. And if you would like to, Aakash very graciously mentioned many times in this episode about the various ways, starting from the funnel speech all the way to the specific tactics when it comes to GK or other subjects. So if you want to gain the benefit of preparation in a similar way that Aakash did, please feel free to reach out, WhatsApp me. We have very reasonably priced courses and we take our preparation very seriously while at the same time, as you can see, having a lot of fun. So reach out to me, WhatsApp me. My name is Janardhan. My number is 814758097. WhatsApp for a studious time. Yeah. So yeah. So well, I mean, we have 5 minutes. I mean, like any other, I know we're wrapping up, but any other questions that you have from an endless perspective, if you do have any, maybe one or two. Yeah.
One thing that I keep hearing again and again is
Yeah.
that it's extremely strenuous, which I obviously expect from the tenure law institution of the country. But how strenuous is it exactly? Like, will I have time for a social life to do other things?
You will
That's a
definitely have time for a social life and it'll be very geographically proximate.
limited.
So don't worry about it. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, to answer this question for the third time on this podcast, it happens in fits and bursts. So the first 3 weeks of any trimester, not your first trimester, but any other trimester, will be quite chill. And then everyone will spend 1 week in submissions, first submissions. And then 2 weeks will be, or 10 days to 2 weeks will be quite chill. And then you will have midterms for the first and second years. And then the next another week or 2 weeks will be quite chill. And then you'll have second submissions. And then another 3 weeks will be quite chill. So whenever I say quite chill is when all the activities are happening, when all the societies and committees are organizing their events, and there's a lot of hubbub and a lot of activity on campus, and you'll get your time for social life. Now it's a 5 days work week as well, so you have your Saturdays to yourself as well, which we didn't. But you get your space. You'll definitely get your space. There'll be concentrated periods of high academic intensity, and you've got to be consistent. You've got to do like the same principles that apply. You got to you got to do the readings every day. You got to do a little work on your project every day and things like that. But you got to make your case list and stuff like that. But yeah, it's very it's not easy, but it's very manageable. You learn to do it. Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Another last question I would have is, are there any societies or fests or events that you particularly enjoyed and that you would suggest from a learning perspective and from a growth perspective?
Oh, interesting. Okay. From a learning and growth perspective, what kind of learning and growth? Okay.
Okay, good question.
No,
Valid question.
yeah. No, I'm it's 11, oh, it's 12 o'clock. I'm just, yeah, the sleep deprivation is getting to me. Yeah. So to answer your question, that's a great question. That's actually a really great question. If you want so if you want academic learning and growth, or not even just academic, like professional, personal learning and growth, join one second. Yeah. Join the legal services clinic. Okay. You get
write this down.
Yeah. Join LSC. They have their own room as well, which is, I hope they still do, which is pretty cool. So join the legal services clinic. Okay. They do some really good work. join as many journals as possible. Okay, especially the
Journal.
National Law School of India review. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a committee for that. I forget the name of that committee right now, but I think it's called, but join as many, there are like 10 journals minimum now. So join as many
Okay.
journals as possible. Do as many research. You get like a minimum of one research activity, like one person calling for research interns from NLS in your inbox, in your endless inbox, once every 2 days minimum. So
Oh, wow.
really, really great opportunities. That's one thing that NLS has that other law schools just don't, like non-NLU law schools, which is the opportunities. So make use of those opportunities. So there's the law review, there's legal services clinic, and do as much mooting as possible. Be part of the trilegal moot that happens. See, most festing is about organizing. It's not, so you learn a lot about yourself and your peers and how to get things done more than anything else, which is a very important skill. Also, one specific piece of advice which is interesting, since you have time on your hands compared to your people who are with you, who are your peers, learn hard skills like design or tech, like a little bit of coding, like HTML, CSS, right? Because that will get you like an almost free entry into every committee that you want to be part of, every review that you want to be part of. Yeah, as a technical member. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So what do you mean exactly by like tech design?
Yeah. So get your so you start with Canva, then you've got your Figma, then you've got your Adobe suite, and then Photoshop basically.
Okay.
And then you've got your ability to design and implement websites, so HTML, CSS, and a little bit of JavaScript. Like you can learn this in like a week or 2 weeks. But we just don't like doing it because we're like, it's like witchcraft to us. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So how have you been keeping up otherwise? Yeah.
I'm doing good, sir. I'm just chilling now because CLAT is over. Don't have much to do. I have pre-boards going on. In fact, I have one exam on Friday.
Right.
So they're like you said, there are times where I have to study a bit for school, but apart from that, I'm just doing my own reading, going out, making up for all the time that I lost with my friends and in my social life during CLAT. I'm making up for that now.
Right.
So yeah, I think it was worth it at the end of the day. In retrospect, when I reflect back on all the months of preparation, I think it was worth it to sacrifice all that time because I think those 12 months do give you a lot of relief for the next 6 months, for the next 4 or 5 months.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm just enjoying now.
That's really great to hear. And best of luck for the exam on Friday. And
thank you, sir.
I want to stay in better touch than what I have done in the recent months. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Sure. So that'd be great.
Yeah. And so have a good one. Have a good night. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Bye. Good night to everyone.